Hey there, guys. Yeah, this video was supposed to be like three different episodes of me working on franchise mode in Planet Zoo. But as you can see, it's just one. So in my career mode that I was doing, it the files, like the settings on OBS shifted for some reason, and the lag was horrible. So I was like, oh, I'll just start franchise instead and make a thing out of that. At some point of changing the settings back, I changed the video file type, and when I converted it to an MP4 instead of whatever it was, I don't even remember, it was like M something, I don't remember, it deleted all my audio and some of the videos. So I scraped up what I had here and made this video. So this is the first episode of franchise mode in our Matley Zoo. And I have a lot to start because the first episode, which I lost all the footage for, I plopped down like four species, four? Yes. An exhibit and like food and stuff. And that was it. And I got up to $100,000 and then wiped it, kept the animals and stuff and the staff, and building what you see here. And I got this idea of like the moat. You walk across it, and you'll see I build like a covering in a minute. And then when you get to the circle is the Nalias, aardvarks, and giant tortoises. And I'm building their shelter right now, which was really bad in the end because I didn't realize they couldn't go through the doors. And my dude kind of freaked out because he only had like 74 meters of space or whatever. So that gets fixed later on. But I liked this idea of the circle and the staff building inside the circle. It's like a keeper hut, a staff room, and a transformer for power. And I kind of made it at like an angle so like when you're walking by on the outside you can't really see the buildings. I thought that was cool, and I loved just like playing around with some of the stuff on the side of the building to kind of give it like a pop. But yeah, I had this vision of this circle as when you first walk in, you kind of walk around the circle, and my Arctic wolves go off to the side. Like when you come in, they're right off to the right, and you'll see that getting added as well. But I don't know. I really wanted to make this franchise look good, and so that was my goal of raising all the money before making it look good so I could really focus on buying whatever the heck I wanted. And with 100,000, I think I dropped down to like 74,000 before I really started getting it going again, I think. I think that was what we were at or something. It's paused, it's closed, no one's in the zoo, and it just gave me a good time to go for it. And it's quite choppy, and I'm sorry about that. I kind of just cut a ton of different things from the episodes and put them all together so you kind of get the build. Like I had done one that was mostly the building of this kind of stuff. And then towards the end, I add in some Indian peafowls. And that was supposed to be like its whole own episode where like I walk through what I did and stuff. But yeah, that kind of didn't happen. And so I didn't really know what to do for this space, and it's kind of wonky, but I kind of like it. I had the exhibits right in the middle, and I had the staffs like center off to the side. I spice up the buildings, and I I don't really know. I kind of don't like the space, but I feel like it works for what I need it to be. It's kind of like a main hub. I feel like I'm gonna put a few main like food court hubs around the zoo and then have just like little like maybe a drink stand here or an information stand there and kind of have that like separation of you have to walk through the zoo to get to where you want to go. So you see all these things and get to enjoy it. And so that's kind of where that and like was going, and it was kind of just a funky shape because I thought, why not? Let's make a funky shape. So this is the Arctic wolf pen. I absolutely love them, but I don't love the fact that you don't really have a lot of plants or trees that you can put in. Like, what's up with that? Honestly. And so, like, I kind of just ended up making the terrain a little like wonky for them. That was really all I could do. I didn't really want the glass window by the toilets, but like I felt like it was a good place for it in a way. And I put all the education in. I really want to get my education ratings up. I wasn't doing so well. I kind of have watched some tutorials on how to do it, and I still feel like I'm not doing that well, but I'm doing better than I was. So I'm kind of just going from there and seeing and hoping that it does better. And yeah, I love these shelters. If you notice, I have some like blueprints for some buildings and stuff, and a lot of them are Zoo Tycoon 2 themed or Zoo Tycoon themed. Some of them are locked, and it's just work in progress, so I don't know if like they're coming soon or what. I don't really understand that, but I mean, I just got into the workshop the other day, so I'm not really sure what anything is at this time. Zoo Tycoon 2 was always one of my uh favorite games. I was gonna favorite animals. Yes, Zoo Tycoon 2 was my favorite animal. And maybe at some point I will get it and play it on this channel because I do have this love for it because it got me into like zoos and learning about animals. I mean, I was already an animal fanatic beforehand. And so just to see that people had taken time to kind of try and design things from those games to have them in Planet Zoo was just amazing to me, and I had to add a few. And so then I added like the heating and the cooling because we do get snow in this, and the animals get kind of cranky because this franchise is in North America. And this is when I figured out that he could not get out the door. And I was kind of mad because it kind of took from the aesthetic of the building that I had done, but the animal comes first, honestly. So, and then I was just kind of figuring out getting everybody happy and making it look good. For the most part, I like the exhibits. I'm not a landscaper by any means. I am big on interior design, and landscaping is just not my thing. I can kind of figure out what might look good and what might not, but otherwise, I'm clueless. Also, some people say, oh, base it on zoos you've seen. I have only been to a couple zoos in my life. One, I was like 2 years old, and the other one was just a couple years ago. It was a birthday present, and I don't remember a whole lot of it. I have some pictures, but I don't really remember a lot. And the only other thing I've really been to is in Maine. It's called a wildlife park. Oh, well, I did. Okay. It's the Maine Wildlife Park, and essentially like animals that are rehabilitated or can't go back in the wild go there. And so it's just Maine wildlife. Like, it's not anything really you'd see outside of Maine. But I did go to, there is like a kind of zoo and amusement park down in southern Maine. I did go to that last year, but it's not so much like focused on the zoo in a way, and it's not that great of one. Not gonna lie. It could do with some expansion and renovation, but it was cool. The deer got to like had this fence and they could just slip out of it, and someone was caretaker, I guess, was just kind of chilling there, and someone asked if they were supposed to be able to get out, and she goes, "Yeah, if they feel safe, they'll come out and they'll say hi." And they had these little things you could put some money in and turn it and feed them, and they loved it. But yeah, they just come out through the fence and come say hi. So that was kind of cool. Some of the pens, they had like a couple tigers and a lion there. Weren't like super big, but it was just one animal in each. And I mean, for the most part, they seem pretty content. And like, I love zoos, and I know like some of them can be very controversial, and people aren't always in favor of zoos, but I feel like there is a time and place for them, and if people really put effort into the animals in the zoo, they can be great. Like, I was gonna say great aspects of. I don't know what I'm trying to say. They can be great and very educational and really help people learn about animals. And this tortoise shelter, I tried to do some of the shelters from that were based on Zoo Tycoon, and they weren't really happy with the space. So I built this weird concrete one that I randomly decorated and was like, okay, here we go. So yeah, that's my weird turtle shelter. Um, but yeah, I feel like they can be very useful, especially for the animals, that can't be released back into the wild, that need a place to go. Zoos can be very beneficial for. And so I love going to see them. I love learning, and it's really an eye opener in a way. So I am currently trying to figure out what can go in the wolf pen. That was what that was. You could see I jump around quite a bit. Some of the animals were dying. This is year, like, I think it says 14 at the bottom. Yeah, 14. Um, since I started this franchise, so like you can see how long it took me to get it going and get the money so I could do this. And that was supposed to be the first episode, was kind of how that happened. And then like it just yeah. I'm kind of upset. I had a moment earlier where I was like, I quit. If this is how everything is going to be, I absolutely just quit. And I reeled myself back in. I was like, no, you cannot quit, because that is not how we do things. Uh, like, yes, it bested you for the last like 6 episodes of Planet Zoo you've been trying to do. But now you know what you're doing. You've run tests, you've done this, you've done that. You've got this. I took a break and I filmed some other things. I worked on some Wolf Quests and some Sims, and I think that helped kind of give me a breather that I was looking for, that made me come back and realize I can just piece together these things and make a video. So here we are. Here's our video. I was just trying to make these, like, what are they called? Staff facilities? Yes. I don't know why I can't think of what things are called. Like, as soon as I start talking, everything just gone in my brain. I was trying to just make it look interesting and look good, because I had so much money I could play with that at this point it was like, sure, let's go. And I started putting plants in and it just didn't look right. So then I just did ivy hanging off the side. And I feel like I need more along the side, but I might go back and like put some mural kind of stuff on it. I'm not really sure what I want to do, but I feel like it came out pretty decent for now, especially since I'm still learning how to build and like getting into the aspects of like the advanced move and rotate kind of thing, and learning how to piece together like the walls to make different things and use this to make that. And kind of that's what I've been doing as I've been going along, is just testing what I know and how I can get better. Such as like the tortoise house was just, ooh, what can I do to make this kind of funky that I haven't done before? And so that's kind of what I've been doing. Like, as I've been doing this kind of thing, I've been just kind of putting it together. And yeah, and I only had one workshop at this point. So only one thing could be researched at once. So later on, I added in 3 other workshops so I could have 4 mechanics researching different things so I could get things out faster. Because I was like, if I crank out a ton, I can always just remove the workshops later on and go from there. And I really wanted the wolf on this sign, and it didn't really work out because Matley is a mixture of Matt and Harley, because I didn't really know what to name this zoo. And because it was my first one, I named it after Matt and Harley. So that's kind of where that came from. Matt is the boyfriend, Harley, is my pup. Well, our pup. And he was he was mine before we met Matt, and now he's ours because daddy comes first. Anyway, that's where the name came from, and um so yeah. I'm decorating around here, and like I was having issues with the plants. Kind of I had them snapped to the surface, and so then I turned it off, and for some reason, even though it was off, they still wanted to all go sideways. So then I had this spotlight, and it was just too much on the zoo. And so then I moved it over here, and I went back later. I don't think it's in this recording, and took two smaller lights and put them in those dead trees and have them shining, and it has a much cooler effect, and I like it a lot more. But for now, that's how it is. And then I wanted kind of a breaker on that side. I think I'm going to go back and add a little bit more trees so you can't really see what's going on. But I'm not sure yet. I think that'll just depend on what ends up going over there. And yeah, so I just kind of tried to make it look nice and how I wanted it to look. How I wanted it to look. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just, I don't know. I kind of had all these ideas, and as I was executing them, things looked different. And so then I was like, I don't really know what to do. And here I actually am going to be ending up changing the way the deer is jumping on that side because it just looks better on the other side. But I slipped in all kinds of like little structures like this, and I put in a potted plant. Plotted, yeah, okay. And I really wanted to add more along the exhibit walls, and I will probably add more in the future. I was just kind of playing with things and seeing what they would do and trying to make it look nice. And this got cut off, but I added like a couple trees and some more bushes to kind of frame the outside of the like keeper section. And I do go in and add like stuff around the hut and stuff in there so it does look kind of similar to the other section. And then I added another exhibit animal here. And I think this is also the point. Yeah, I'm going to add the peafowls in. I had to add another transformer, so I kind of like pushed it as far as away from people as I could while still like hitting the area. And that's where I end up adding the workshops, is over on that side. But I was just trying to get more people interested, and like more things for people to like take interest in. And I know when I had been originally doing this, people liked the walkthrough of the turtles. So I did it with the Indian peafowls. And I also once again did the same kind of staff has to enter through the shelter, as you will see. I wasn't actually going to do the peafowls until I saw there were some white ones on the market. And I kind of went a little gung ho from there. But yeah, this exhibit was kind of a challenge in a way, just because I didn't really know what to put in for like scenery and things. So it still looked nice for when guests walked through, but they could still see stuff, because that was the biggest thing. I wanted them to be able to see the peafowl, and that's why I put like the foraging box right next to the path, because I felt like that was a good spot for it. So like when they're there using it, people can see them right up close. And I kind of got a little funky with the shelter because I thought, why not? I just kind of placed different things in and did a different roof in the middle because I don't even know why. I honestly think I just forgot to add the roof and was like, hey, let's add something different. So that's where that came from. And yeah, I think I pretty much just finish up with this exhibit, like playing around with all of the scenery and stuff. I don't think I do much else. I might like pop in and look at a different animal at some point. Like I was taking care of the animals throughout all this and talking about them, but obviously they're gone. That footage is gone. So I'm left with this. And, well, not so much the footage is gone, the audio is gone, and it's not the same when I'm trying to talk over it, like, later on, and, it just doesn't work the same. Not the same as, like, me talking over this speed build. But anyway, now that you guys are kind of caught up with this zoo, I mean, hopefully I won't have any more issues going forward. I've tested some a little bit later tonight after I reset everything, and it seems to be fine. Cross your fingers, please, because I'm terrified that it will not be fine because, thought it was, and here we are a week later, and we have like nothing to show for it a couple weeks later. I don't know. I've been trying and trying and trying, honestly, and it's just, yeah. I I got frustrated earlier. That's what we're gonna leave it at. And, I love this game and I love exploring it and expanding what I know. So to have that opportunity to also like share it as well, like this is something I've always wanted to do. So when it starts failing on me, it's honestly really heartbreaking, not gonna lie. But we are getting kind of to the end. I think there's like a minute left of me just moving some rocks around. So I am going to be popping out, but I did go back in after I got everything set and took some little footage of each of the animals to tack on at the end so you can kind of just see how the Matley Zoo is doing at that time. And so, yeah, I will just leave the rest of the video to you guys. I hope you enjoy. I hope you no longer have these issues. And I hope to see you all again very soon. Bye, guys.